Yo, what's good? You tuned in to StayWavyTV, your new spot for everything boxing, WWE, NBA, hip-hop, NFL, and the latest movies. Fast updates, real talk, and nothing but
Legendary boxing promoter for Top Rank Boxing, Bob Arum, is picking Brian Norman Jr. to beat Devin Haney when they clash together on November 22nd in Saudi Arabia. Let me read y'all this article. It says, legendary promoter Bob Arum has shared his thoughts on the upcoming clash between Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. Reigning WBO welterweight champion Norman is set to make the third defense of his crown against countryman Haney on Saturday, November 22nd at the A&B Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Norman has emerged as one of the best welterweights on the planet over the past 18 months, racking up 22 stoppage victories in 28 bouts since making his professional debut in January of 2018. Former undisputed lightweight champion Haney is gearing up to make his first ring appearance since May when he defeated former unified super lightweight champion Jose Ramirez in what was an underwhelming 12-round performance. It was a straight snooze fest, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep it real. I'm saying this as a Devin Haney supporter. That fight was awful, and if Devin Haney fights the same way against Norman Jr., he needs to just go ahead and retire, bro, because ain't nobody gonna want to watch that bullshit, bro. Let's just keep it real. One man who knows both fighters extremely well is Hall of Fame inductee Bob Arum, who currently promotes Norman and has also worked with Haney in the past. In an interview with Sean Zettel, Top Rank CEO and founder Arum didn't hesitate to back Norman to get the job done against Haney in emphatic fashion, as he claims the unbeaten 24-year-old will knock out his domestic rival. Wow, so Bob Arum's old ass, you know Bob Arum is damn near 100 years old, y'all. I think Bob Arum is in his 90s. That's truly a blessing, man. Shout out to Bob Arum, bro. He's saying that Brian Norman Jr. is gonna knock Devin Debo Haney the fuck out, bro. He gonna do Debo how Ice Cube did him with the brick in the movie Friday, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's saying Norman Jr. is gonna throw that brick hand at Devin Haney, and Devin Haney's gonna go night-night. You wanna go night-night, nigga? You wanna go night-night, nigga? So anyway, let me continue reading this article. It says, that's why we took the fight, because we think Norman will knock out Haney. Devin is a very good fighter, but we think Brian is a better one. So it'll be determined in November in the ring, but we like our chances with Brian. Haney is an excellent fighter, so it should be an interesting fight. How is he an excellent fighter when you saying he gonna get knocked the fuck out? You can't, like, bro, like, if he's an excellent fighter, you would say he's just gonna lose by decision. You said he gonna get knocked out, bro. That means he's not an excellent fighter. You know, anyway, Norman will have his sights set on producing yet another highlight reel knockout 5 months on from his most recent ring appearance, in which we saw him stop Japan's Jin Sasaki in the 5th round of their bout in Tokyo, which left the challenger requiring immediate medical attention. Listen, bruh. A lot of y'all is smoking that Norman Jr. dick, bruh. Like, y'all gotta stop doing that, bruh. Like, I hate the fact that in the sport of boxing, you know boxing is my favorite sport, but I hate how in boxing, you can just knock people out and all of a sudden, like, you that dude. All of a sudden, you the boogeyman. All of a sudden, you can just beat somebody that has a better resume than you. Only in boxing do we do that. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney clearly has a better resume than Brian Norman Jr. Devin Haney is older than Brian Norman Jr., has more experience than Brian Norman Jr., and I think Devin Haney is a better all-around boxer than Brian Norman Jr. Now, one advantage that Brian Norman Jr. does have is it seems as though he punches harder than Devin Haney. But what have we learned from the history of boxing, y'all? Power doesn't always win fights, especially when you step in the ring with a dude that's skilled all around, okay? Everybody thought Shakur Stevenson was going to get knocked out by William Cepeda. He got outboxed, okay? We all thought that Deontay Wilder was going to knock out Tyson. And I do think Wilder did knock out Tyson Fury. I think the referee was on some bogus shit. But for the most part, Tyson Fury was the better all-around boxer, which caused him to win 2 out of the 3 fights, right? The first fight being a draw and Tyson Fury pretty much winning the second and third fight, right? Gervonta Tank Davis, he's a knockout artist. You look at his most recent fight against Lamont Roach. Shout out to Lamont Bow Wow Roach, you feel me? You know, when Tank couldn't knock him out, he was getting outboxed. You know, Lamont Roach made Gervonta Davis take a knee, made him start crying. And to hide the fact that he was crying because he almost got knocked out, he ran to the corner and wiped the tears out of his eyes and said that he had baby oil in his eyes, bro. Said he put too much baby oil in his braids. You feel me? You know Gervonta Davis was at them Diddy parties, bro, down there in Miami. Y'all know Tank live in Miami, right? Tank was at them Diddy parties, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's his ritual. Before every fight, you know, Tank pours that Johnson & Johnson baby oil in his braids to moisturize his scalp. But that wasn't the case, bro. He was crying, bro. Lamont Roach hit him with a hard shot, and he felt like he was about to get knocked out, and he ran to the corner and started crying because he was embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? That's why we never got the rematch between Lamont Bow Wow Roach and Gervonta Davis. That's why we didn't get the rematch. So, you know, people need to calm down, bro. First of all, nobody brings this up, right? Did you guys know that the Brian Norman Jr. fight and Jin Sasaki, did you know there was no PED testing for that fight? That fight took place in Japan, and there was no PED testing for either fighter in that fight. So who's to say that Brian Norman Jr. wasn't juiced up in that fight? You don't know. Both of them could have been juiced up. You feel me? Like, you don't know. So for this fight, there's drug testing. And we're going to see if that power is real, because I'm going to tell you this. If we don't see that power on November 22nd, you know what that means, bruh. That means Brian Norman Jr. was on Austin. Let's just call it what it is. He was on Austin. He was on that boom shakalaka. You feel me? He was on that snack shit. Let's just call it what it is, bruh. If Brian Norman Jr., if we don't see that Jin Sasaki power against Devin the Dream Haney, because we did see Devin Haney get dropped 4 or 5 times against Ryan Garcia, right? And when you look at Devin Haney's last performance against Jose Ramirez, he looked very, very scared to get hit at all, which makes me think that he's chinny and he has PTSD from getting dropped so much, right? Doesn't want to get dropped. So if we don't see Norman knock out Haney, or at least drop him once or twice, then that power is fake, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That means that Brian Norman Jr. popped the senso bean before he went into the ring over there in Japan. Let's just call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is, bruh. But Brian Norman Jr. hasn't fought anybody, bruh. Anybody. Brian Norman Jr. has never been in a ring with a boxer that is as skilled and as successful as a Lomachenko. It just hasn't happened. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney's been in there with Lomachenko, moved up to 140, beat Regis, snatched that belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Devin Haney, bro. Like, y'all gotta put some respect on Devin Debo Haney's name, bro. Like, Devin Haney is that nigga, bro. Now, if Brian Norman Jr. pulls off the upset, I will give all the credit in the world. I promise you, bro. But I got Devin Haney winning this fight by unanimous decision, bro. I got to see it to believe it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Brian Norman Jr. See, I keep hearing people say, oh, people think Norman Jr. is just a knockout artist, but, you know, he has good feet. I disagree, bro. I don't think Brian Norman Jr. moves around the ring that well. I don't. Brian Norman Jr. kind of reminds me of like a Danny Garcia, you know what I'm saying? Like a flat-footed motherfucker that just looks for that one punch. And when he can't get that one punch, he loses. That's what he reminds me of, bro. So I got to see it to believe it, bro. I can't wait for this fight, bro, because I feel like everybody is just hyping this dude up. And I feel like a lot of y'all doing that just because y'all don't like Devin Haney. I don't think y'all are actually fans of Brian Norman Jr. I think you just hate Haney. And you want to see Devin Haney get knocked out so you can get off on yourself, right? You want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just want to let one, bruh, I know it sounds crazy, bruh. You got people in this world, bruh. They hate somebody that they never met before in real life. They hate somebody so bad that when they see the person that they hate in a bad position, they get off on themselves, bruh. And it makes them feel better about their pathetic life. You feel me? Now, if you've been a Brian Norman Jr. fan before this fight got announced with Devin Haney, salute. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that started slurping and two-hand twisting right when the fight got announced between Haney and Norman Jr. because nobody watched that fight with, bruh, let's keep it real, bruh. Nobody watched the fight with Norman Jr. and Jin Sasaki. Niggas just seen the highlight, bruh. It was a brutal knockout. and everybody seen the highlight. Most people didn't watch that, and I know you guys didn't watch the fight because the fight took place like at 6 in the morning, bruh. Over here in America, bruh, the fight took place like at 5, 6 in the morning. You niggas didn't wake up that early to watch no Brian Norman Jr. Man, Brian Norman Jr. ain't sold a pay-per-view a day in his life. He don't sell pay-per-views. He not no superstar in boxing. Y'all just start hearing about this man, bruh. The only thing we heard about him is he ducked Jerome Boots Ennis to fight Jin Sasaki. How y'all go from saying he ducked Boots to all of a sudden he that dude and he's gonna knock out Haney? Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop that shit, bruh. But we gonna see what's up November 22nd, man. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. This your boy Wavy, StayWavyTV. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video, leave a comment. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. I'm out.
StayWavyTV, your #1 source for hip-hop, WWE, NBA, boxing, and movie news. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and tap the thumbs up to stay in the loop. Appreciate you watching. Stay wavy.